What if I told you that doctors in ancient China discovered a hidden pressure point on the male body? One that could restore what time has quietly taken away. If you've noticed that things just aren't working like they used to, if you've felt that frustrating moment of wanting to connect with your partner but your body won't cooperate, you're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share the exact location of this pressure point and the fascinating science behind why massaging it for just 60 seconds can help wake up what's been lying dormant. I'll also reveal the surprising connection between a tiny molecule in your blood and your ability to perform in the bedroom. A connection that most doctors never mention. And perhaps most importantly, we'll uncover the real reason why so many men over 50 struggle with this issue. Hint, it has nothing to do with getting older. But first, let me tell you about a 67-year-old retired firefighter named Gerald, who almost gave up on his marriage until he discovered what I'm about to share with you today. Gerald had been married to his wife Linda for 42 years. They raised 3 kids together, built a life, grew old side by side. But something had changed. For the past 5 years, Gerald noticed a slow, quiet decline. The spark that used to ignite so easily began to flicker, then fade, then almost disappear entirely. He felt ashamed, embarrassed, like his body was betraying him at the worst possible time. And Linda? She never said a word about it, but Gerald could see it in her eyes, that quiet sadness, that unspoken distance growing between them. He tried the little blue pills. They worked, sometimes. But the headaches, the flushing, the way his heart would race, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like him. Gerald thought maybe this was just the end, that this part of his life was over. Until one afternoon, while visiting his daughter in San Francisco, he stumbled into a small acupuncture clinic. The elderly practitioner looked at him, really looked at him, and said something Gerald never expected to hear. Your problem? It is not age. It is blocked energy. And I can show you how to fix it yourself at home. Now, before I tell you exactly what that practitioner taught Gerald, let me explain why this matters so much more than most people realize. You see, what's happening in your body isn't just about one thing. It's about a cascade of changes, many of which can be reversed, or at least significantly improved. Let me break this down for you. According to research published by the National Institutes of Health, the prevalence of moderate erectile difficulties affects approximately 20% of the total adult male population. But here's where it gets eye-opening. That number jumps to 30 to 50% in men aged 40 to 70. And for men over 70, over 60% experience this challenge. But here's what most people don't understand. These statistics don't mean your body is broken. They mean your body is responding to specific biological changes, changes that can be addressed. A groundbreaking study from Brigham and Women's Hospital at Harvard Medical School found that men's testosterone levels begin declining gradually after peaking in their 20s and 30s. This decline happens at a rate of about 1 to 2% per year starting around age 40. By the time you reach 70, you may have 30% less testosterone than you did at your peak. But here's what's crucial to understand. Testosterone decline is only part of the puzzle. Remember when I mentioned a tiny molecule that most doctors never discuss? Let me introduce you to nitric oxide. Now, this isn't the laughing gas from the dentist's office. This is something far more important. Nitric oxide is what scientists call the miracle molecule. And according to research published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension, it is the primary biochemical mediator of erectile function. Let me explain what that means in plain English. When you become aroused, your brain sends signals down your spine and through your nervous system. These signals trigger the release of nitric oxide in the blood vessels of the penis. This nitric oxide does something remarkable. It tells the smooth muscle tissue to relax, to open up, to allow blood to flow in freely. Think of it like opening a dam. When nitric oxide is released, the floodgates open, blood rushes in, and erection becomes possible. But here's the problem nobody talks about. As men age, their natural production of nitric oxide decreases. The body simply makes less of it. And when there's less nitric oxide, those blood vessels don't relax as easily. The dam doesn't open as wide. Research from Einstein Medical College found that men aged 50 to 90 have a 10 times greater risk for erectile difficulties than men younger than 50. 10 times. And the primary reason? Compromised nitric oxide pathways. Now, this is where the ancient wisdom of pressure points meets modern science. You see, traditional Chinese medicine has known for thousands of years that certain points on the body, when stimulated properly, can improve blood flow, reduce tension, and restore energy to specific organs. What they didn't know back then, but what we understand now, is that stimulating these points can actually affect the release of nitric oxide and other crucial molecules in your body. A 2019 systematic review and meta-analysis published in the World Journal of Men's Health examined 22 randomized controlled trials involving over 1,700 participants. The researchers found that acupuncture and acupressure techniques showed promising results for improving erectile function, particularly when combined with conventional approaches. But here's the part that really caught my attention. The National Institutes of Health considers acupuncture a promising therapy for various conditions, including sexual dysfunction. Researchers believe it works by activating the central nervous system, balancing neurotransmitters in the brain, and regulating the release of nitric oxide. In other words, these ancient pressure points may actually be triggering modern biochemical responses. Now let's get to what you've been waiting for. The exact spot, and the exact technique. The point I'm about to describe is located in an area called the perineum. This is the small patch of tissue between the base of the scrotum and the anus. Now, I know this might sound unusual, but stay with me because the science behind this is fascinating. The perineum sits directly above the prostate gland and the pelvic floor muscles. These are the same muscles that are active during erection and ejaculation. According to research published in the British Journal of Urology and documented by the Mayo Clinic, the pelvic floor muscles play a crucial role in helping the penis achieve and maintain firmness. They help increase blood flow to the area and are active during intimate moments. A landmark randomized controlled trial conducted at Somerset Nuffield Hospital in the United Kingdom studied 55 men with erectile difficulties. After just 3 months of pelvic floor work and biofeedback, the erectile function of men in the treatment group was significantly better than the control group. The researchers stated clearly, pelvic floor exercises should be considered as a first-line approach for men seeking long-term resolution. Now, here's where the perineum massage comes in. When you apply gentle, firm pressure to the perineum, you're essentially stimulating the external access point to these crucial muscles and structures. You're increasing blood circulation to the area. You're helping to relax tension that may have built up over years. And according to practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine, you're also activating energy pathways that connect to the kidneys and liver, 2 organs believed to govern male vitality and reproductive health. Here's the technique. First, find a comfortable, private position. You can lie on your back with your knees bent, or sit in a relaxed position. Locate the perineum. It's about halfway between the base of your scrotum and your anus. You'll know you found the right spot when the tissue feels slightly softer than the surrounding area. Using your index and middle fingers, apply gentle but firm pressure to this point. Not hard enough to cause discomfort, but firm enough that you feel a slight pressure. Now, Using small circular motions, massage this area for 60 seconds. Some practitioners recommend doing this 2 to 3 times per day. You may notice a slight warmth in the area. That's normal. It indicates blood flow is increasing. Research suggests that consistency is key. A small trial published in the Asian Journal of Andrology found that regular perineal work over 4 weeks improved maximum urinary flow rate, which indicates improved blood flow and relaxation in the pelvic region. But the perineum isn't the only point that can help. There are several other acupressure points that traditional Chinese medicine associates with male vitality. Kidney 3, located on the inner ankle, midway between the ankle bone and the Achilles tendon. This is considered the source point for kidney energy, which governs reproduction in TCM. Stomach 36, located about 4 finger widths below the kneecap on the outer side of the shin bone. This is considered one of the most powerful points for overall energy and vitality. And liver 3, on the top of the foot, in the depression between the big toe and second toe. The liver channel in TCM actually travels through the reproductive organs. Apply firm pressure to each of these points for 30 seconds to 1 minute, using small circular motions. Breathe deeply and relax while you do this. Now, remember when I said the real reason men struggle has nothing to do with getting older? Here's what I meant. Research published in Translational Andrology and Urology examined cortisol levels, that's your body's main stress hormone, in healthy men versus men with erectile difficulties. What they found was remarkable. In healthy men, cortisol levels dropped significantly when they became aroused. The stress hormone literally decreased as the body prepared for intimacy. But in men with difficulties, their cortisol levels didn't drop. They stayed elevated, or even increased slightly. The researchers believe this supports a biochemical explanation for stress-related performance issues. When you're stressed, when cortisol is high, your body is in what's called a sympathetic state, fight or flight mode. And erection? That requires the opposite. It requires the parasympathetic state, rest and relaxation mode. This is why the massage technique I shared with you is so powerful. It's not just about blood flow. It's about telling your nervous system to shift gears, to calm down, to allow the natural process to unfold. A pilot study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men who practiced stress management techniques showed a significant reduction in perceived stress and a lower daily exposure to cortisol compared to men who only took medication. The combination was more effective than medication alone. So what does all this mean for you? It means that your struggles aren't a life sentence. It means that your body still has the capacity to respond, if you give it the right signals. It means that 60 seconds of focused attention on the right pressure point, combined with stress reduction and perhaps some pelvic floor exercises, could make a meaningful difference. Let me share a few additional strategies that research supports. First, consider adding pelvic floor exercises to your routine. A study from the University of the West in the United Kingdom found that these exercises helped 40% of men with difficulties regain normal function and helped an additional 33.5% significantly improve. Second, look at your lifestyle. Exercise, particularly aerobic exercise like brisk walking for 30 minutes a day, has been shown to improve cardiovascular health and blood flow throughout the body, including to the areas that matter most. Third, reduce stress where you can, whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, spending time in nature, or simply taking breaks throughout your day. Lowering cortisol gives your body the space it needs to function properly. And fourth, stay connected with your partner. The emotional component of intimacy is just as important as the physical. Communication, patience, and understanding can ease the pressure that makes everything harder. Now, let me tell you what happened to Gerald. After his visit to that acupuncture clinic in San Francisco, Gerald went home and started practicing what he learned. Every morning, every evening, just 60 seconds on that pressure point. For the first week, nothing much happened. He almost gave up. But he kept going. By the third week, he noticed something. A slight improvement. Nothing dramatic, but something. By the sixth week, Gerald felt like a different man. Not 25 again, but present, capable, connected. And Linda, she noticed too. They didn't talk about it much at first. But one evening, sitting on their back porch watching the sunset, Linda reached over and took Gerald's hand. "I missed you," she said quietly. Gerald smiled. "I missed me too. Now look. I want to be clear about something. What I've shared with you today is not a magic cure. It's not a replacement for medical advice. If you're experiencing persistent difficulties, please talk to your doctor. There can be underlying health conditions that need attention. But for many men, the simple practices I've described, supported by scientific research and thousands of years of traditional wisdom, can make a real difference. 60 seconds. That's all it takes to start. The question is, will you take that minute for yourself? If this video helped you, if it gave you hope or practical information, I'd be grateful if you'd hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. Let me know what you'd like me to cover next. Are there other natural approaches you're curious about? Other topics that men our age don't talk about enough? I read every comment, and your questions help me create content that truly serves you. Remember, your best years aren't behind you. Sometimes they're just waiting to be unlocked. Until next time, take care of yourself. You're worth it.